As much as analytics have evolved the way we think about basketball, there will always be an element of the game that you will never understand by looking at a bunch of numbers on a spreadsheet. Because you would think that Larry Bird's best game was his 60-point shooting clinic against the Atlanta Hawks.
Larry Bird scored 60. It is the greatest shooting exhibition I've ever seen in my life.
Or his near quadruple double versus the Utah Jazz, where he sat out the entire fourth quarter because his team was winning by so much.
I remember one night in Utah, Larry had a triple double and he had 9 steals. So you could get a quadruple double, which never happens. There's only been a couple in NBA history. Came out of the game in the third quarter because they were leading by so much. I ran down to the other end where he was sitting on the bench. I said, "Hey, get back out there. You could get a quadruple double. It's only been done like twice in history." He said, "Get the hell out of here, Scoop. I don't care about that."
Larry Bird finished that game with 30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 steals. 1 steal away from a quadruple double because padding his stat sheet just for the sake of doing it was beneath him. But in the 1986 NBA Finals versus the Houston Rockets, Larry Bird called Game 6 the best game he ever played.
You know, everybody's always asking my best game, but I would take that night in and night out, yes.
To reach the NBA Finals, the Houston Rockets defeated the Los Angeles Lakers 4-1, thus ruining the Lakers-Celtics rematch that the world wanted to see on this last-second shot.
Hakeem Olajuwon has been ejected. So has Mitch Kupchak. McRae will inbound. 1 second on the clock. Sampson. It goes. It's over. A miraculous shot by Ralph Sampson. Off balance has given the Houston Rockets the Western Conference Championship and a trip to Boston for the NBA World title.
Well, we always wanted to play the Lakers. There's no question about it. But Houston was an upcoming team with Olajuwon, and they had a very good team.
And after 4 games of the NBA Finals, the Celtics were leading the series 3-1. But in Game 5, the Rockets went back to their home court and literally fought for their lives.
And now Seasting and Sampson, and now Dennis Johnson, and a melee is broken out here. A melee is broken out, the benches have emptied, and they have brought police onto the floor. At the bottom of the pile is Walton and Sampson right now. It all started with Sampson and Jerry Seasting, and they're still going at it, and there is blood.
You can't be doing that. I mean, I thought it was distasteful for both sides. I think that you just got to play the game. It was a game that we wanted to win. We wanted to get the series over with, because anything can happen if you stay out there long enough. You get guys injured. We were better than that. We should have, I don't know about sweeping them, but we should never have lost Game 5.
We had got pushed around in Game 5. And then we had practice the next day on Saturday. Everybody was really quiet.
But there was one person who wasn't worried at all, and that was number 33. And I remember him on that Saturday afternoon of practice saying that we need rebounds, we're going to get rebounds. We need this, we're going to get that. We're going to be fine. Larry Bird assured the world, we're going to be fine.
And so we get into the game, and Larry's out doing his pregame warm-up, and we're all in the locker room stretching and working it out. And then Larry comes into the locker room, and he looks at us all, gathered all our attention. He says, "Guys, I was just out there in the crowd. It's an hour and a half before game time, and the crowd is already in, and they're ready. And right now, they want the blood of the Houston Rockets. But I'm telling you right now that if we don't deliver today, they're going to want our blood. Now, let's get going. Who's coming with me?"
I don't think anybody could have beat us that day. We were on. We made some mistakes early, but the energy was there, the excitement was there, and we knew if we continued to play hard, we were going to win.
I stunk it up. It was one of the worst performances of my career. Larry had to call a timeout because Hakeem had stolen the ball from me a bunch of times and went right. We had a big lead. Larry and Kevin were playing great. And then Hakeem just started stealing the ball from me, and I was just bobbling everything.
Rockets have played in the prior games good defense, making the Celtics use a lot of time in the back court.
Steal by Olajuwon. Gets an easy bucket.
And Larry calls timeout, and he walks over to Casey Jones and says, "Casey, you got one choice. You can either take me out or you can take Walton out right now. Casey he did the right thing and took me out.
But aside from Bill Walton's early blunders, the Celtics proceeded to show why they had the greatest home court advantage of all time. Because after Ralph Sampson punched Celtic player Jerry Seasting in Game 5, the Celtics crowd, as you can imagine, didn't like Ralph Sampson at all. And they made sure that he knew it.
Into the action.
Tough to play on the road, and the Celtics have won 40 straight here. Sampson turnaround over McHale. McHale's played good defense early on. Parrish gets free.
And there was this one elderly woman who was maybe 5 feet tall and maybe weighed 80 pounds. And she had a front row courtside seat. And she brought a sign that was bigger than she was. And she said, "Hey, Ralph." And she's referring to the big fight with Jerry Seasting, who was a little tiny guy himself. And she goes, "Hey, Ralph, I'm 5 feet tall and 92 years old. You want to fight me too?" And this lady just stood in the front on the edge of the court. She never sat down. She just yelled and screamed at Ralph the whole time.
Boston only lost one game at home that entire season, in part because of that Celtics home crowd, but mainly because Larry Bird was the best player on the planet. And in Game 6, he showed exactly why.
What did we get on that Sunday afternoon? We got what Larry Bird maintains to this day was the game in which he was, and I quote him, most prepared ever to play. All I know is this: prepared, whatever degree he says he was, it was one of the greatest individual performances. I think it may have been his greatest game.
McRae on Bird. Step back shot.
Sampson gave up the good low post position.
Danny Ainge missing. McHale and Bird underneath. Here's Bird. And a basket.
It was spectacular because in a game of a lot of winners of the genetic lottery. I mean, you had Hakeem, you had Ralph, who were just brilliant. You had Kevin McHale, you had the Chief. And here was Larry. Larry got every rebound. Larry made every steal. He made every pass. He just literally did everything and made the rest of the world seem inconsequential.
Pro shooter in this series. McHale. Sampson tried to overplay and got burned.
Bill Walton said number 33 had gone out and painted the perfect Larry Bird masterpiece. And it wasn't even about the numbers. It was about his effort on both ends of the floor. A seemingly lost art for superstars of today. He was all over the court, double teaming and getting back to his assignment, in the passing lanes, forcing turnovers left and right, and diving for every loose ball. But the moment that best describes his effort that night was when he dove on the floor and forced a jump ball against 7-foot Hall of Fame center Hakeem Olajuwon. And without batting an eye, Larry Bird, who wouldn't impress anybody with his jumping ability, did this.
But Bird has that savvy and the timing, and the Celtics have it.
He got a jump ball against Olajuwon. Now, he can't do that, but he did it, okay? He was omnipresent defensively. He anticipated where they wanted the ball. He was like a one-man zone, quite frankly. He was going crazy, but he was everywhere.
Double throws it right into the hands of Bird. There's a 4-on-1 break for the Celtics, and Ainge.
Michael Jordan summed it up perfectly when he was told to list Larry Bird's weaknesses. MJ said, "Larry Bird can't jump, and he's not that quick, but he makes up for it by using his head, analyzing the opponent. It makes him better than the competition. Consequently, he doesn't have a weakness."
And Wiggins fighting Bird, who feeds McHale.
Being in the arena for that game and the way he played and how he was just everywhere on the court, like a free safety, just a freaking maniac for 3.5 quarters. And you look at the numbers and it's like 29, 10, and 12, something like that. But it wasn't like he didn't shoot lights out. His PER wasn't the best of any Bird performance, but like I've never seen anybody have an imprint on that game scoring less than 30 points.
Fairly well, Dick, but Peterson may have nightmares guarding Larry Bird.
What a pass to McHale. That's Larry Bird, vintage Larry Bird. Outside shot is missed by Robert Reed. Ainge to Bird, pulls up at the line. Level finds an opening, try to change hands. Here's Bird, 3-on-1 Boston. Pass back, Bird.
Oh my gosh. And then the second half started, and it was just phenomenal because he just kept going. He would post up about 18, 20 feet away, and he'd get the ball, and poor Rodney McRae or whoever they would have on it, Robert Reed. I mean, I'm sure they tried Ralph and Hakeem on him. It didn't matter. He could have put all 5 guys on him, and they couldn't stop it.
Isolating 1-on-1. McRae didn't go for the fake. Pass back.
The numbers won't show it. It was a very nice routine triple-double, 29, 11, 12, something like that. And he just totally dominated the game in every way. And of course, the artistic highlight was when he, on the right box, zigzag dribbles out to the corner to turn around and hit a 3 and go, and when they were pouring it on in the second half.
Dennis Johnson. There's Sampson and Walt. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Bird wants a 3 out of it, and he gets it.
He would dribble out to the three-point line, and then without even looking, he would just throw it back up there and then run down the court with his arms in the air and his finger pointed up and say, "We're number one." And the Celtic crowd just saying, "Here we go, Celtics. Here we go." It was absolutely fantastic. Larry Bird, the greatest player I ever played with by far.
The Celtics dominated that game, and Larry Bird was rightfully crowned Finals MVP. Larry Bird said, "That was the only game I thought I was totally prepared for. As far as the focus was concerned, none better. Never. I should have quit right there."
I never saw a man play a better game of basketball, ever. That's the greatest individual performance. The defensive dominance that Larry did on that afternoon in June of '86. I would love just that tape to be shown to every high school and college coach, every pro coach now, just everybody, just say, "How you can't play basketball better than this. You can't."
And after that series, Hakeem Olajuwon called Larry Bird the best all-around player that I've ever seen. This Celtics championship put the finishing touches on a perfect year where Larry Bird also won the regular season MVP, finished with a home record of 50-1, and was awarded the Associated Press's Athlete of the Year across all sports. The 1986 Boston Celtics were the best team ever, with the best player ever, having his best game ever. It really gets no better than that.
All year and win 50 and lose only 1 on the parquet floor.
Everybody's always asked my best game, but I would take that night in and night out, yes.